Okay, in continuations of first lectures of topic proton nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy, we will continue the basic component of spectroscopy. Each and every spectroscopy having 3 to 4 components. First is what? Source. Source in terms of electromagnetic radiations. First source, then after we require matters. Matters we also call as compounds, matters or substance. This is a basic parts, electromagnetic radiation bombarding on matters, substance or compounds. After bombarding, we need to detect its signals. We need to detect the signal, so we require detectors. Detectors can capture radiations absorbed by the molecules and passes through the plotters, and we get information as you shown in presentations. These are this PMR spectrum. There is a sharp peak will be there. This is what we require the plotters, either printers. So this is we call as also fourth point. But we consider generally the 3 parts. Then we want to print, so we require the printers. So the electromagnetic radiation, then the matters or compounds, and the third part is detectors, and fourth part is the printers, either plotters. So this is a basic component. After knowing the basic component, many times we will use here some basic terminology. So we need to understand what is the basic concept of that particular point. The electromagnetic radiation, this is the first point. The first terminology, it is a 2 phases, electric and magnetic. Electromagnetic radiation associated with electric field as well as magnetic field, and both are perpendicular to each other. So this is what a bunch of energy, simply what we call, this is a particularly bunch of energy. That electromagnetic radiation, it consists of 2 phases, electrical as well as magnetic, and definitely these are associated with 2 field, electrical as well as magnetic, and they are perpendicular with each other. The next is wavelength. Wavelength is denoted by the letter lambda. So first we see the definition. Definition is very simple. We are well familiar about it. Wavelength can be defined as the distance between 2 successive crust or top of this wavelength. So as you've seen in that top side we call as a maxima, bottom side we call as a minimum. The distance between 2 successive crusts or tops we call as a wavelength. So this is first wavelength. Okay. Then second one, it's measures in meters, centimeters and nanometers. Okay, wave numbers. Wave numbers very simple. Wave numbers can be defined as the reciprocals of wavelength, which is 1 by lambda. We call as a wave numbers. Okay, and simply again it will be measured meters, centimeters and millimicrons. Okay, 1 by lambda we call as a wave numbers. We also call it the reciprocals of that particular. Frequency can be defined as given time number of waves or photon passing through the particular point in a space. Suppose point A and point B is here, and this is for point A to point B. In a specific time, in a 1 second, the 10 photons are passing. So this is what the frequency of that particular number is passing to the particular point. Okay, so we call as a frequency. And amplitude is a vertical distance between a peak or valley and equilibrium points. We call as a amplitudes. It depends upon your maxima or minima. We also call it another way high and low. Okay, sometimes the maxima will be higher, sometimes maxima will be lower, sometimes similarly minima in same. Energy is again the same, equal to h mu. Again these are this we can change this, so we get the corresponding equations. Then types of spectroscopy. Ultraviolet visible spectroscopy. This spectroscopy is used to find out the conjugations among these molecules. The next spectroscopy is infrared spectroscopy. This spectroscopy used to the functional groups. Functional groups like COH, OH, carbon-carbon double bonds, acids, alcohols, NH2. These are the specific type of functional groups used by this spectroscopy, that is infrared. Then H1 nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy. The spectroscopy find out the protons among these molecules. Then C13 is the same way, nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy. C13 nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy is find out the carbon, different types of carbon present among these molecules, which we will find out. F19 nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy, it's fluorine. Phosphorus 31 nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy, let's find out the phosphorus among the molecules. Mass spectroscopy is find out the molecular weight of your compounds. Okay, means if there is a specific weight, suppose if compound having the 90 molecular weight, this is a specific weight for that particular molecules. Then ESR, free radicals or unpaired electrons. Then micro spectroscopy, let's find out the bond length. Most of our spectroscopy, the oxidation state of your molecules, Fe2, Fe plus 3, likewise. Photoelectron spectroscopy, relative energies of electrons in atoms or molecules from its core. It is find out with the help of photoelectron spectroscopy. And the last spectroscopy is X-ray. X-ray spectroscopy is find out the absolute structures of molecules. Then basic parts of this proton nuclear magnetic resonance spectroscopy. So which nuclei will be NMR active and which nuclei will be NMR inactive. This is the 3 rules. With the help of that 3 rules, we can easily to understand which nuclei are active and which nuclei are inactive. So first rule, if number of neutrons and number of protons both are even, then nuclei has no spin, I equal to 0. For example, carbon 12, this nuclei is NMR inactive. Oxygen 16, sulfur 32, so we call as a NMR inactive nuclei. Then second part, if number of neutrons and number of protons both are odd, then nuclei has integral spin, so on. For example, H2, B10, N14 are active one. See here, nitrogen odd, both are odd, means atomic numbers. Having the proton is 7 and neutrons number is also 7. So that's why it's never active. Then third one, if number of neutrons plus number of protons is odd. Similarly, suppose if you see this example, H1, C13, 15 and phosphorus 31, these are this NMR active nuclei.